Thank you. Let me now recognize the gentleman from Texas, Mr. Williams, for 5 minutes of your questioning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And ransomware attacks were first seen in the late 1980s, but they become more and more common, as we know today. I'm a small business owner in Texas, and I can tell you small business and Main Street are getting hammered by this, and it's devastating. These kinds of attacks started off fairly simple. An individual would click on a fake link, and their computer would be locked down by the attacker then until they paid the attacker a small amount of money or sum of money. Now, recently, these attacks have become much more sophisticated by using new technologies like artificial intelligence and are able to go unnoticed by law enforcement. As quickly as technology is evolving around the world, we must stay up to date on the most advanced ways that technology is being used for illegal activity and stay ahead of the curve in our defense against these bad actors. So, Mr. Surgile, could you expand on how ransomware attacks have evolved over the years, and what can this committee and Congress do to keep up with that evolution and best counter these attacks?
Thanks for the question. To start off, you're absolutely right. What we're seeing across the board is the speed, scale, and sophistication of the attackers is increasing in monumental increments, to the point where Megan was talking earlier about artificial intelligence being used by threat actors. We're seeing that as well. The one way that we are able to combat that is by using artificial intelligence ourselves to be able to kind of clear through the clutter and be able to respond automatically. So in one instance, which was a breach back in February, was the first time that we saw AI being used in an active attack. A very well-skilled and well-tooled SOC of 20 was not able to keep pace and parity, but with tooling that has machine learning and artificial intelligence, we can absolutely keep pace and parity, knock down the alert fatigue that we see on a regular basis, because that's part of the problem. Critical alerts go missed. So fighting fire with fire is a simple answer.
It's like any other bad guy. They're always ahead of you one step. That's good.
Well, the kind of silver lining in this is their use of machine learning and AI is actually a generation or two behind us. We first kind of saw the first implementation of a GPT for threat actors back in March of 23 with HackGPT. Now I think we have 8 different types of AI tooling for threat actors. But it's a concept of good data and being able to cleanse that data, and they don't have that at this point. Yeah. But if they do come together, that's going to be a different story.
So we've seen an increase in ransomware attacks on individual Americans. We talked about that. We know that. But also large multinational companies like attacks we see and saw on MGM and Caesars. The payouts for these large attacks have grown in scale, driving the attackers to target more and more high-profile victims. These bad actors are going after companies across all industries, from healthcare companies to refined product pipelines, and which is showing how protection against ransomware is becoming a necessity for our national security. It's a big expense on small businesses to protect themselves. In order for us to best protect everyone, the United States must have safety and security measures in place should there be an attack on key infrastructure in the United States. So, Ms. Coven, could you elaborate on the national security risks that large-scale ransomware attacks pose?
Thank you for your question. And we certainly do see the phenomena of big game hunting, large entities being targeted by ransomware operators in our data set. As much as 75% of the overall ransomware payments we've seen are comprised of payments of $1 million or more. So these actors are becoming more sophisticated using darknet market resources that they can buy and sell. But luckily, we can track those purchases, and those are a great identifier in enabling us to disrupt. Now, it's come up earlier, we have noted nation-state actors engaged in ransomware from China, Russia, Iran, and they're testing ransomware not only for financially motivated activity, but we are seeing ransomware used to obfuscate nationally, politically motivated activities like disruption and espionage. So it's so important that we involve multiple agencies with every lens of visibility available to us, following the money, following the tooling, the infrastructure, and the people.
Okay, thank you, and I yield my time back.